everybody. We got a couple of people aboard talking Dukascopy and Forex trading. So let me put the first question out to you, Shalom. What do you think the new missile from North Korea from over Japan, and now Japan warning is warning North Korea?
Yeah, I think like we saw with Iraq and Libya, I think eventually they're going to push their luck, over they seem to go right up to the edge and then they try to back away, but I think they could eventually miscalculate and there could be a situation. So hopefully there won't be any fireworks, but it's definitely not off the board. Anything can happen. So this is a good time to really look at options, because if something does happen, whoa, you could really rake it in.
Yeah, you can see my screen now?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. You see the Russian ladies here?
Yeah, why are they on your screen? What's up with that?
That's part of the community. Some say that's probably the best part of the Dukascopy.
They're part of your community, or the Dukascopy community?
It's all Eastern Europeans. See all the new friends they got? It's all these.
They do that to try to draw up interest, right, for their website, probably.
To me, it's brilliant, but I have no interest in any of them.
Okay.
Anyways, so I don't know if either of you guys have watched my videos on Dukascopy. What I'm going to show you is just a rough overview. If Cash wants to chime in, how much of if you've been watching my stuff, Cash, on the last couple of videos? If you just want to give me an answer, so I know how deep I should go. I'm assuming you've never seen anything from Dukascopy, Shalom?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, well, this is out of any of the brokers that I've seen, I've dealt with Awanda. We have one called here Quest Trade. I've dealt with them. The big banks I've dealt with, Interactive Brokers I've dealt with, and now these guys. I will say Dukascopy is easily the best broker out there, at least from a tool set point of view. They're brilliant. So.
Are you using them or in any capacity right now?
Not yet, but I'm hoping to get an account opened up next week.
Okay.
Over the next couple of weeks, I'm itching to get going with this. Okay, so the types of assets that Dukascopy has. You can see my screen, no problem?
Yeah, I'm good. I see it perfectly.
Okay, awesome. So they're out of Switzerland. As I said, they don't take Americans. Sorry, Shalom. But they're really good. They do obviously Forex trading. They're an ECN. So they're like LMAX, where they provide their own. They do have third parties, banks that provide liquidity. They are a bank in Switzerland, so if you fall under the, there's two types of accounts with Dukascopy. There's Dukascopy Europe, which is out of Estonia or Latvia, out of Riga. And then there's a Swiss one. If you're in the Swiss one, you can set it up where you will then have protection from the Swiss government. And from what I've researched, it's better to have Swiss protection than even here in Canada. But you have to have a certain amount. It used to be, if you had 5,000 US, you could fall under the Swiss system. But we had one guy local out of Germany come to our group, and he confirmed he's got some clients that are multi-million-dollar accounts, and the Swiss side of Dukascopy still don't take these guys. So you'll always end up in Estonia or Latvia or Dukascopy Europe.
So what's the minimum to open an account with them?
100 US.
$100? That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
So they also have binary options, which everybody knows that's not recommended.
What if I open a bank account in Canada? Can I then?
Yeah, I think they're gonna do a due diligence on you, like I know Awanda does. So they're gonna want to see utility bills or something out of that you show that you're a Canadian resident. Because what I think Dukascopy's against is because they do CFDs, and I was just going to tell you they do Forex, but they also do CFDs. I thought CFDs were bad things. They're not bad things. They're like the cheap alternative way of doing options and futures. So you're not
Okay.
getting full commitment of a futures contract. You're just going to be able to participate at like a pennies on the dollar to get the same type of behavior as you would with a commodity or a future or whatever you want to trade, right? And
Right.
then they also have a more sophisticated division. So let's say you have 100,000 or a quarter million. They have this Guardian service, so you can still not. You don't need to send money over to Dukascopy, but you have to give a letter of credit and guarantees from your bank that Dukascopy needs, and they can link your account to the Dukascopy account, and then your bank will act as the guardian to protect your money, so all that capital does not get sent over to Dukascopy, but you need $250,000 to do that.
Mm.
So it's pretty sweet there. And then, as I said, they got the community's pretty impressive. I mean, it's huge. They have a TV station there. It's a lot more sophisticated than Interactive Brokers, which I think is pretty impressive. And then there's obviously the platforms as well. They only do either JForex, which I'll focus on tonight. Plus, they also do MetaTrader, but the MetaTrader it has to be bridged into the account of Dukascopy. So I kind of played with it and I didn't like it. So I prefer JForex, and some of the more advanced guys that I've talked to at Dukascopy say JForex is probably one of the best platforms you'll come across in the retail broker space. It's pretty sophisticated. It's all done in Java. Their API into the platform is very good. Plus, they have this other tool called Visual JForex, which enables you to design your strategy visually. So you don't need to be a programmer, and I can show you that, like a couple of strategies that I've been playing with, and then deploy it into my JForex. So hopefully my JForex will cooperate tonight, and my account will be okay. Um, and basically, how you can see the Swiss this SWFX logo
I
here.
see it.
Okay, cool. Um, let's just hope I can get in without issue. Um, okay, hang on here for a second. This can be pretty slow, but once it starts up, it's very fast. The other good things I like about Dukascopy from an API standpoint, you can they do allow what do you call it, scalping. You can trade. I won't say at a high frequency, but you can do definite tick trading, and I played with it quite a bit. And the other beautiful thing about Dukascopy to get the market data that you want for, let's say, uh, tick volume, bid and ask volume, I've never seen a broker offer that. And you can get access to all that data for 10 years for free. You don't pay a penny extra once you set up an account for as little as $100. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal what they've got here. So even if you don't trust the broker, this is a great testing bed to test theoretically all the different parts of your trading. So moment of truth here, as it's authenticating. Let's see if it goes through. What happens is I'm working off a demo account, and they're valid for 2 weeks. So um, let's hope we can get in. And then I'll give you a little tour around on the API level, the strategies, and it's very sophisticated. I like the community quite a bit. It's a lot more. They have a better community than Interactive Brokers could ever have. Like I'm part of the Interactive Brokers newsletter group, and it's a complete mess on that group. So I mean, this if they were able to provide futures and options, and they do some CFD stock, but it's all based out of Germany. So you can uh, work with whatever. So this is the JForex here. So obviously it has standard charting that you would expect out of any platform. Like so, when you do your 15-minute, your 5-minute, your pip level, if you want to go down the lat level, it's very fast. once you get it started. You can also track on obviously bar, whatnot. Let me just see another chart here. Let me just kill this other pip chart. So here, what we can do is we can, add in all your different typical indicators that you want, have your different periods, Any other trading platform, it's virtually the same. Nothing exciting there, but what I'm going to show you will probably blow your mind. Okay, so what we have here is we have these strategies section here in the tab. So all of this, what I'm about to show you, is done in Java. Okay, so there's the oh, we got somebody else here. Hang on here. I'm gonna mute that.
You have competition, Brian.
Yeah, no. Okay, so continuing along here. Okay. Huh. Okay. Okay, so continuing along, what we've got here is we've got all these different strategies. So let's say if I load up this Bollinger strategy here. Now, what I can do is I can edit it. No, hang on, let me get a better strategy here. Let's try this Quantizant. So you can edit it, but I don't recommend obviously editing strategies in this tool. It's not a developer's, it's not an IDE basically, but this is a typical source code you would get with any particular strategy with JForex or Dukascopy. This particular strategy earned the guy that wrote this. He's actually out of Toronto. He won $6,000 with this little simple strategy, and it did quite well for about 3 months. So there is a Dukascopy contest where you can get all kinds of winning strategies and test them out and modify them to your own needs. It's pretty impressive. So let's say I'm going to load this strategy into my platform here. So what happens is I've just loaded it. There's a couple of things you need to understand. So this Quantizant strategy is now started. And in here, if you go under the actual Quantizant strategy, what you'll see here is the strategy has now started, and what it's doing is it's automatically subscribed to whatever my JForex is set up. Now, if you guys got any questions, just let me know. So what you have here is you have the ability to predetermine before you launch this strategy to have it automatically subscribe to whatever assets you want, specifically in this case, obviously, currency pairs. So this strategy is going to run. It's just doing a cross of pairs. Excuse me, using a simple moving average or something like that. And typically, you can see here it gives little trading signals of bearish or bullish, and sometimes it will put on positions. I can show you a couple other strategies that will put on a position for you, and it's pretty awesome. I really like this platform. I like the ability that you have with the strategy. And there is a built-in back testing. When you put on a position, it's no different than TWS, let's say, from Interactive Brokers, where you can watch over the strategies, orders, and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of sophisticated API stuff that goes on with this particular platform. So you obviously can get your news right within the platform. Now, the other beautiful thing I like about, as I said, if you guys got any questions, just let me know. The other thing I like about the Dukascopy strategy, now I'm just, like I said, it's all done in Java. Now with Java, I have ways to interface it with Python and any particular database. So let's say if you want to go in and do a Dukascopy API and interface it with a database, They have some sample code here that enables you to do that. So in our case, we could have our data be coming into the platform and then being able to insert the ticks right into the database. In this case, you can see it's using MySQL. So they have sample code. So they have all kinds of various sample code that you can test and play around with to get things working within JForex, or as what they call a standalone Java app as well. So because you could have a 100% Java app, you could have it also interface with other Java libraries. Now, I've done enough testing with this now where I've seen the Dukascopy, or sorry, the JForex, where I'm using, let's say Redis, and I'm pumping a ton of data into my Redis. The JForex won't blow up, but you will get warnings that you are pushing the platform to its limits. So you have to be very careful what you do from within JForex. But as I said, you can easily set up a separate standalone Java app with your connection into the API of Java. Now, what I'm showing you right now is the more advanced stuff from a programming standpoint. So I can come back to this, but what I want to show you is, as I said, we have the JForex community. In here we have what they call the JStore. So as an example, what you can do, you can go online and check out what strategies are available in the Dukascopy environment. So if I go to the JStore, there's a variety of strategies, indicators, and other things that you can deploy into JForex. So again, I'm not a customer. What I'm doing is all free, and I'm not paying for any of this, not the data, not any of the sample code or the strategies. This is just all testing, and there's, like I said, there's only a 2-week limit on the demo account, and I'll just close the account, and you just go out and you start up a new account, but your Dukascopy community ID will stay with you forever. So let me just see if I could find any strategies at all. So here in my JForex, in my JStore, I have three strategies that I've been playing with. Now, there's different ways to interface with these strategies. And the beautiful thing is, if you go into let's say you do a Dukascopy community login, okay? Or I'm sorry, there's a tool called Visual JForex. Now, this tool enables you to design your strategies visually, and you use typical blocks to implement that strategy. So I'm going to show you a little quick demo of that. It's pretty cool. So you have to be logged into your Dukascopy community. That's the way they validate it. You also need to be aware that this is a Flash app. So this is Flash technology. It was written about 4 years ago, and I don't think they'll ever update it to HTML5 or anything, but just be aware that it's using some of the old technology, but it's very cool. So if I load in one of my strategies here, let's see if I can find one. I'm gonna import one of my draft strategies now. Am I logged into my, oh, I'm not logged in. Okay, excuse me for a sec while I get logged in. Okay. Like I said, if you guys got any questions, let me know. Okay, I'm logged in now. Awesome. Okay, so if I import a couple of these strategies, I'm just going to give you a very high level of different, actually, no, I got to open one, not import. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so I have different strategies here, so I'm just going to think of a simple one to load in. There's one from one of the Dukascopy webinars called Geronimo, and hopefully this will load in. Okay, so this is what I'm referring to. So let me just get rid of these panels here. Okay, so what we have here is, if you have followed me enough to know about Simulink and visually designing Simulink. This is similar, but this is specific for trading. Okay, somebody's got a question. Hey Isaac, how you doing? Welcome, dude. Okay, so this again is the one of the basic strategies that you can use to develop and play with. So I've done a walkthrough of one of these strategies. So when you start up your JForex, there's three conditions that you can use to start a strategy, or what's defined within the world of JForex as a strategy. You can use on a candle event, you can use on a tick event, or you can use as a trade server event. Meaning if you're watching something and there's a response from that server, you can have that event trigger your strategy. It's pretty powerful. So in this case, what we've got here, and as I said, I'm just going to do a brief run through on this stuff. Let me just see if I can blow up. Okay, so what we have here is, let me just load in my panels here. So over here we have the blocks, all the different types of blocks that are available to us. We have let me see here. We have different strategies, and we have what they call components. I call them blocks. So what we have here is we've got logical, which is all programming related, which we have like a loop viewer, which is like a while or for loop. We have if. This is a multiple action, so we can have one component and at the same time have it run at different events at the same time. And then we can move into some powerful things like trading components. And again, what we have here is different types of conditions for trades. So let's say you want to open a position at the market. You want to do something or open based on a certain condition. Do you want to set your take profit or set your stop loss? Now, I've said this before. We know about stop hunting. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm 100% confident that Dukascopy does not stop hunt, but there are ways to create your own virtual stop loss and take profit, and I'm going to have my own software track that later down the road. But I want to get more used to the platform and its capabilities using these tools and these functions. So I'm going to just work with a default out-of-box stop loss and take profit, and I don't care what happens. I'm only going to start with like $100, and then we can do trailing stops. Not a lot of brokers offer trailing stops. I'm just going to show you some other types of basic components here. So we have here, your math components and so forth, okay? And I'll show you more of this in a minute, but let's go through the strategy. So what we have here is we have 4 events happening all at once. Now I'm just going to give you just an idea of what we can do. So in this case, we can have the strategy run within our JForex and only run at certain times. So in this case, we can see the condition here for weekend. If it is the weekend, don't do anything and just close out the strategy. Another one is if you, I can't remember what a check, UOL, I can't remember what that is. Hang on here, let me just see. See here, these are called groups, and what you can do here is each strategy has a set of these components within the group. So you can see here it does if, use of leverage. Oh, the target, that TOOC is a parameter that you can set for leverage. So if your leverage goes over 30 in this case, it will close down the strategy. And as you can see here, the next component here is stop strategy. So it'll close down the strategy, and whatever the positions are, it'll close out all positions in case your leverage gets too high. So that's just one condition. If, as I said, in this condition here, if it's the weekend, stop the strategy from running. Also, if you're running, let's say in a case of, let me just see what we have here. It's kind of tricky to follow this logic here. So we can assign different conditions. Let me just see what we have here. No. Okay, let me blow her up. So we have here Visual JForex. So we give an assigned value to a long value. So when you put on a long or short, you can track those for your particular currency pair that you're trading. So what we're looking at, this is a strategy that is for this particular currency pair. So you could have 5 currency pairs running and run 5 instances of the same strategy, as I showed you earlier in the JForex with that other strategy, that Quantizan. So you definitely, it's much easier to manage than any other platforms that I've seen, because this is kind of weird to get used to, but once you get used to it, you get used to it. So let me just move these around here. But the crux of the strategy is right in this last branch here. So we've covered these 3. Let's just see what we got here. So as I said, we can set parameters for the strategy before it starts up. And then what you can do is you can put in filters. You can set on trading times and and then you can open up positions based upon a set of parameters. You also have full control of a set of variables that Dukascopy, the API, gives you. If I can open this guy up, here we go. Oops. But it's very powerful and it's very easy to use. So what we can have is we can have our default variable settings based upon slippage at a universal level. So we can set our slippage level, our stop loss percent, or the parameters on when to close out your stop loss, or if you hit your target profit. You can also have the strategy have all the charting and analysis done on a specific default period. You also have some custom parameters as well, and then you have some account type of variables as well. Obviously your ID, your current currency, your equity on the balance of your account, your leverage amount, and all this other fun stuff. And it just goes on and on. You can watch all your positions through these different variables, your open positions, any pending positions, and you need to understand carefully what a position versus an order is. So if you have an order, you can have maybe 3-4 positions on within the order. So you could have set maybe different parameters for your stop loss or your take profit for each new position you put on, but it's all put into one basket of one order. So you can have multiple positions in an order, and it's pretty cool. And you can have all these different events. So you can have different variables set for, let's say, what was the amount for the last candle or the bid and ask at the tick level, and if you were to that's the last ask candle and bid candle, as well as the bid and ask on the tick level as well. It's pretty powerful, and it's really easy to work with. Now, this is the cool thing about it. If you're pretty lazy, you're not a programmer, this is the nice thing. So let's say you come under the help here, you have these different programming options. So you can build, like if you're used to a Java project, you just go build, and it will build it. And I'm not sure if this will actually work, but usually they'll say build project is okay. Yeah, in this case it's okay. Built successfully. And then what you can do is you can run it, and then you can enter the strategy into the contest right out of here, not have to do anything else funky with it. And you also can view the source code that gets generated for the for the strategy. So in this case, here's all the source code in Java, converting everything into Java from this visual representation. It's quite nice. And the beautiful thing is you can save that strategy and then load it into JForex. Okay, and if that's not enough, if you want to make it even easier, what you can do is you can go into your strategy builder. Let me just show you here. So what you can do, I'm going to stop that strategy. You can then load in a strategy. And then the thing is you have all these different options. You can load the strategy in from your JCloud or from your Visual JForex, which is the tool I'm just showing you. So in this case, this will go onto the Dukascopy server for my JForex account and then load in whatever strategies I want. And then I can load any of those. So I can load in that Geronimo that we just played with. And then here it is. That's from JForex. And then I can launch it. I can set my universal parameters on startup, press run, and off she goes. And that strategy is now running from within JForex. So again, that's the visual representation of the strategy. That I've never seen before. I mean, you're not coding anything. And that's what makes this visual JForex so powerful. Okay, and the strategy manager is really nice. You just go stop, and it stops that strategy. And if you want to check the logs, you have the logs from the previous session of the Quantizan, and you can also have logs that you could easily customize and dump into this panel here from within your strategy. It's pretty powerful what you have. So if I go back into my Visual JForex, so as I said, if you come over to your panel here, what you can do here is you have strategy. So here, you've literally got access to all those strategies I told you about from within the JCloud that Dukascopy provides. So you could get access to all strategies that have been entered into the contest. You just got to know what strategy you want to load in. So if I go back to my JForex here, you can load in the strategy another way. So if you go into here, load in your strategy, but in this case you're going to choose JCloud, and then this is now off of the Dukascopy servers. So here you have all these different available strategies to you. So there's 3 news related strategies, as well as all these different types of strategies that are available to you. It's pretty sweet. So we have here other strategies, and this is the contest. So you have over 4,000 strategies available to you to load in and play with right from within JForex. So if I load in any of these random strategies, this one, let's say, I could do that. So it's this one. I can launch it, and now it's running right here. So that's running. If I want to look at the source code, let me just see what the message, if there's any new messages. So you can see here that the strategy is running here. So this strategy, this HMAH1 has started, and if anything that's been programmed to dump any info into this panel, it will do that. So again, I'm going to just turn this guy off. So you can do that from within a JForex. You can also launch that within JForex as well. Now, you might go, wow, that's pretty cool, but it doesn't stop there. You have the ability for backtesting. A lot of people that like Dukascopy for the big fact that all the way from a tick level, you can test this particular strategy with a tool. Let me just see. So here you have this play option, and what it's going to do, it's going to try to access the strategy processor that has to run on my desktop. So let me just see if I can find it in my download section here. Now, I don't think I can show you this, but I do have a video on it. Let me just show you this. This is very, very, very powerful, this tool. So we want to see, wow, I don't have it anymore. Okay, anyways, what'll happen is you got, actually I can download this tool. So I'm gonna keep it. So it's gonna download it. I'm gonna open it. And can't be, because it's an unidentified, so I have to go to my securities, screw it. But like I said, I do have a video on it. And what it will do is it will enable you to test the strategy against live data. You can go on any time period, any time frame of up to tick, 5 minute, 10 minute. You can apply different parameters or different indicators you want to this thing. It's very, very powerful. Also, let me show you some of the SDK code, the software developer code as well. Again, this is what I'm going to show you is the NetBeans IDE. So this is the Java standalone code that you can work with. It's really impressive how they built this out, where you can take your strategies, put them into the contest. They've got pretty nice prizes of like 8-10 grand depending upon your strategy performance, and they do it every week, every month. And they're not like Quantopian where you get a winning strategy and you only get 10% back. Here these guys are giving you, a watch, a very expensive watch, let's say, or a cash prize. They'll send you out to Switzerland to pick up your payment. It's pretty good what they have as an environment. Okay, so let me just pull up the SDK here. Okay, sorry that this is slow. Looks like we had somebody drop off. Oh, okay. So, yeah, this is powerful stuff. And as I said, I've got 3 videos. If you go under my Dukascopy playlist and go to the bottom of the YouTube channel, you'll see that I've got those that playlist on Dukascopy. And I've got all kinds of videos on there of up to, I think there's 3 ones, a couple, I think all of them are about half an hour. And I've put up 2 courses for anybody that wants to go deep with this stuff. Wow, my computer's really slow today. Okay, so if you go into the playlists, so that tool to check out back testing, you can also simulate your data in real time as well against your strategy. So let me just pull up my playlist here. If you go under Dukascopy right here, and then just scroll down to the bottom for the most recent videos. Anybody got any questions so far? Okay. Wow, this is really, so like I said, I've got 35 videos on here. Obviously you don't have to go through all of them, but if you just go through the most recent stuff, you'll see all the different videos that I've included. The last probably 4 or 5 videos, you can see the whole everything.
Everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. What you're looking
and there you go. And that's pretty well the whole thing, the whole shebang of what Dukascopy provides. If any of you guys got any questions or anything, that's just like a crash course on what Dukascopy provides. So, like I said, I've got like really cheap little courses if you want to learn more about it and see the. Isaac, I did all 35 of those videos since the beginning of the year. Those are all mine. Yeah, I would say the last 4 or 5 are the most important. Because it basically is a drill down of what I've showed you at a very high. What I'm doing right now is just like kind of like a crash course on the capabilities of what Dukascopy provides. But here, what I'm showing you is, like I said, is a crash course to the community, to what's available to you, how to load in any strategies you have, how to develop your own strategy. It's pretty powerful stuff. Anybody else got any questions? I think it's just me and who's left. You and me and Isaac. That's all we have. Anybody else got any questions? I knew this is a quick. If you want to mute yourself, Isaac, just me and you. Got any questions, Isaac? I knew it'd be a very small crowd. Okay, give it a whirl. I haven't put in any live tests, but I have played around with the API. And as I said, like you could set up all kinds of cool stuff here.
Can you hear me, Brian?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah. So I've watched a few of those other ones that you sent the link for through the week.
Yeah.
And I guess the bald dude at Dukascopy. I don't know whether.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah.
He looks like a Bruno. So. Yeah, I mean, his stuff is pretty informative. The challenge is getting past his, I don't want to say thick accent, but I don't know whether he was talking fast or what. It was hard to keep up with him, trying to figure out what he was saying.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, it takes a while. I've watched each of those webinars a couple times. So right now, I'm just going to launch one of these strategies. Sounds like you got a vacuum going on back there. Okay, so what's happening here is I'm launching the standalone Java, and hopefully this will run okay. Again, I have this in my set of videos in the Dukascopy playlist. But this strategy I ran, and it's just a simple move and average, and it's so fast, it will lose money because I chose to trade oil, which was not a good thing. My strategy is not going to run. It's probably my demo ID. I have to go in and change.
Quick question, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the visual JForex, it runs the same as the regular JForex?
No, it does everything visually and it generates the code for you.
Right, so it generates the code. The way I heard Bruno say it, you copy from the visual and you put it into the client platform, right?
Yeah, I've showed you two different ways to do that in this session here within the platform. Okay, I'm just going to run this little standalone app. Looks like this is going to run, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, right here, as I said, if you go under strategy, you load it here, and you can load it directly from your Visual JForex. So these are my strategies, and as I said, I loaded this one, ran it, no problem. So you can load it that way. Got it?
Yep.
So I'm gonna try starting this strategy. This is oil that it's gonna try to run. I hope this can run. This is very cool. So we're just waiting for the log here. My disk is almost gonna run out. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna run. I've had problems with this thing. So, like I said, you could see these in my videos that I've started, that I recorded in that Dukascopy playlist.
Isn't there a risk of something going haywire, copying the data into this platform?
No, I think it's pretty well foolproof. That's the whole point. You got to remember, there's over 4,000 already put in, so I think it's pretty well foolproof. I mean, depending upon how you design your strategy. So right here, this is the charting. And this is live. It's all test and simulated, but it's pretty cool once it gets running.
But you're doing this through NetBeans, right?
Yeah, this is through Java. This is the standalone. There you go. So here's the strategy running now, in real time, and it will put on positions depending upon market conditions. But here it's stopped for some reason. I mean, I don't know why, but you know, you gotta play with it. But it's pretty cool. You know, I'm gonna stop my video. Okay, just for a second. We can keep going.
Okay.
Okay, just give me a second here. I just want to be able to make sure I capture this video properly. Just give me a second here. Sorry about this. Okay. So, ain't that funny? Did not record.
Think you might need a live account, maybe?
No, I didn't record. This video is not being recorded. Yeah. Yeah, I had problems with this stupid technology here. Oh, yeah. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Ooh.